Welcome to this video. Now we have a coding interview question. Find all duplicates in an array. Here's the problem statement. You're given an array of integers. All the array elements satisfy this condition: 1 less than equals to ai less than equals to n, where n equals to size of array. In that array, some element appears twice and others appears once. Now we have to find all the element that appears twice in this array. The constraint to this problem, we have to solve this problem in constant space complexity and in linear time complexity. If you are given this particular array, here we see that 1 appears twice and 2 appear twice. So we have to return 1 and 2. If you're given this particular array, here we see 2 appears twice and 3 appears twice. So for this particular array, we should return 2 and 3. Now how we can solve this problem in constant space complexity and in linear time complexity? Let's assume this is our given array. Now how we're going to solve this problem? We're going to iterate through this array from left to right. First, we see that we have element 1. Now we're going to mark we visited 1, right? Now how we can do that? For that, we're going to use a concept where we're going to multiply the element by -1. Here we have 1. If we subtract 1 from this 1, then we will have 0, right? So 1 minus 1 equals to 0. Now at 0th index, we're going to multiply that element by -1. At 0th element, we have 1. If we multiply this 1 by -1, then it will be -1. So what does this mean is that we visited the element 1 at index 0, right? And the value of the element we can get by just adding 1 to this index. 0 plus 1. The next element we have here 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So at index 1 we have value 2. So if we multiply this 2 by -1, then it will be -2. The next element we have here 2, right? So 2 minus 1 is 1. We see that we have already negative value. That means we already visited that element. So this element 2 appears twice. So let's add it to our answer array. Then next element we have here 4. So 4 minus 1 is 3, right? So at 3 index we have value 4. So let's multiply this 4 by -1. So it will be -4. The next value we have here 1. So 1 minus 1 equals to 0. At 0th index we see that we have already negative value. So this element 1 appears twice. So let's add this 1 to our answer array. In this case, we have to return this array. And that's how we can solve this problem. For better understanding, let me walk through another array. So if we are given this particular array, the first element in this array we see 4. So 4 minus 1 is 3, right? So at index 3 we have value 7. So let's multiply this element 7 by -1. So it will be -7. What does this mean? Whenever we have a negative value at a specific index, it means that we have visited the value index plus 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So we already visited the value 4. The next element we have here 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So at 2 index we have value 2. Let's multiply this 2 with -1. Then the next element we have here -2. So we're going to get the absolute value. Absolute value of -2 is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So at 0th index this value will be -3 because we're going to multiply this value by -1. Then the next element is -7. So we're going to get the absolute value, and that is 7. So 7 minus 1 is 6. Now let's mark this element as negative. Then next element we have here 8. So 8 minus 1 is 7. So let's multiply this 1 with -1. So it will be -1. Then the next element is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. at one index, we see that we have a negative value. So this element 2 appears twice. Let's add this in our answer array. The next element we have here -3. So let's get the absolute value. The absolute value of -3 is 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So at 2 index, we see we already have a negative value. So this element 3 appears twice. So let's add this in our answer array. Then the next element is -1. So absolute value of -1 is 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So at 0th index, we're going to multiply this element by -1. So it will be -4. And finally, we get this answer array. And this is our answer. And that's how we can solve this problem in constant space complexity and in linear time complexity. Now let's see how my solution might look like in pseudocode. First, I'm going to declare a function find_duplicates that takes an array. Okay, for sake of understanding, let's assume this is our given array. Then we're going to declare a new list, and this list will hold our answer, or the element that appears twice. Then we're going to run a loop from 0 to len of this array. Then here n equals to avs nums I. So absolute value of 1 is 1. Then we're going to check if n minus 1 is less than 0, then we're going to add the value to our answer list. But here you see 1 minus 1 is 0. So at 0th index we see positive value. So this part will not run for first iteration, right? Then this part will run, so this value will be -1. For next iteration, it points to this value 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 0, 1 at 1 index, we see that we have a positive value. So this part will not run. Then it will multiply this value with -1. So it will be -2. Then for next iteration, it points to 2. So 2 minus 1, in this case 1. And that is less than 0, right? Because here we have negative value. It will add the element 2 to our list. Then for next iteration, we have here 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. At 3 index, we have a positive value. So this part will run. Here it will multiply this 4 with -1. So it will be -4. Then for next iteration, we have here 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. At 0th index, we have negative value. So this element appears twice. This part will run, so let's add here 1. At the end, we're going to return this list. This solution will take bigger of n time complexity, where n is the length of the given array, and it will take constant space complexity. Hope this concept was clear. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you in the next video.